My brother and I, my older brother and I, we would play ping pong a lot in our basement. And we don't play professionally. That's not something we do, it's just a hobby. And when I would lose at ping pong or checkers or whatever it was, no matter how minuscule the game, I would lose my mind. I hated losing. I hate losing more than I love to win. And that's kind of been the whole premise behind my entire life, really. Well, my very last game as a hockey player, we lost in the championship of our playoffs. It was my last game, and I wanted nothing more than to win that game, and we lost. And it was as if somebody had reached into my stomach and just ripped out my guts and showed them in front of me, held them in front of my face, and then threw them on the ground and laughed at me. And it was, I can just remember when the buzzer went off to signal the end of the game, and that was at the point where I realized it was over, like my career, that was it. That was my last competitive game. When my team loses, I kind of feel like I'm a failure at that point. Like if my team loses, like I think I could have done something more. I could have, there's something else I could have done that I didn't do that resulted in us losing, and that makes me feel like a failure. And that's probably one of my worst fears is thinking that I'm a failure, that I disappointed somebody and, didn't do all I could do to make sure that, things went well, or that we won the game, or that we could have succeeded. It's not Division I, like you're playing for Boston College or some big commercial team like that, but to me that was where I was, that's where I belonged, and that's the main goal of that game, was to win it. And because we didn't win it, it was like I was a failure. I had a chance to end on a successful note, on a win, something I hadn't done in my 4-year career at Towson. I've been in the championship game 2 times in my 4 years there, and didn't get it done. The first time we lost 10-3, and that wasn't even as bad. I mean, we lost 5-3 in my last game, but the 10-3 loss didn't even hurt as bad, because it wasn't my last chance. I had more chances after that, and I didn't take advantage of them. And everything I do is a competition. I mean, that's kind of just the way I was brought up. I mean, my older brother, he's 2 years older than me. I have a younger brother who's 5 years younger, but everything we do is a competition. And because of that, everything I do is a competition. I guess the better way to put it would be to just, I want to be the best that I can possibly be. I don't want to have any regrets, because that's something that's huge with me, especially with sports and everything. I don't want to regret anything, So I guess I would say I'm more concerned with being the best possible, or doing the best that I possibly can do with what I'm aiming for. I don't care if I, scored 0 goals, had 0 points, the entire season. If we won every game and won the championship, I'd be satisfied. That's all I care about. My personal success, yeah, it feels good to score a goal here and there. It feels good to, contribute in those ways. When I would have those games where I'm blocking shots, where I'm hitting guys, and I'm making an impact on, on the game, not necessarily on the score sheet, but, in other areas that help a team win a game, I almost feel more accomplished during those games where I, blocked that one big shot, or I, made that one big hit, or intercepted a pass, or, just did those little small things that led to a victory, rather than, scored the game-winning goal or something like that. It's almost more satisfying to win those games where you play like that, rather than, you score 3 goals. Some people are a lot more accepting of loss, whether it's personal loss in a sport, something like that. Some people are a lot more accepting of it, but to me, growing up, winning was, that's the goal, for everything, and anything less than that is not acceptable. My parents, they were, if you do your best, you can't, and you don't have any regrets afterwards, then, you can deal with that. But I guess I always took it a step further, because, winning just always felt so good. I've played pickup games, scrimmage games before, where we don't technically keep score. I keep score in my head. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, if we're in a scrimmage and, you know, no one's keeping score, there's no scoreboard being, you know, there's nobody working the scoreboard or anything. I'm keeping a count in my head, you know, because what else would motivate you to play your best other than to win, you know? You can, you know, there are times when, you know, certain points of a game where I felt so good, like something you don't really even remember, like what's happening in the moment. Like you're just kind of going, and because it's, I don't want to say autopilot, like you're on autopilot or something like that, but it's just something that clicks where you're just like, you feel so good, everything feels good, you're not tired, you're not exhausted, you know, you feel like you have like unlimited energy, and you know, you just play.